Hi guys, welcome to iGCSE Success. I hope you are all well. Unfortunately, as you can see, there's no snazzy intro today. I'm having a few issues with my editing software, so please do excuse the audio and lack of editing in general, and of course lack of visuals. However, I really wanted to jump on here and finish looking at the sub-questions to question 2. I know it's been a long time and many broken promises, but I sincerely apologize for that. Sometimes life just gets in the way, I guess. Anyway, so in today's video we will be looking at the 4 strands to question 2a, where you are required to identify a word or a phrase from the text which suggests the same idea as the words underlined, and you will get 4 sentences, 4 marks. And of course we will also be looking at the 3 strands to question 2b, in which you have to use your own words to explain what the writer means. Okay guys, so let's start by looking at question 2a. I'm not going to lie guys, this question, obviously it's a new edition. This can cause so many problems, especially if you're a student who perhaps gets a little bit nervous and you don't keep your eye on the clock. Remember, you have 2 hours, and certainly with my year 11s, they can spend a long time on this question, tracking the text and trying to find appropriate words or phrases. It really is, I think, with this question, exam practice. But, you know, certainly it is a tricky question. I don't think there is any exam board around the world that has a similar type of question. So I really feel your pain, those of you who have to sit this exam next May or June. Anyway, I digress. Before we look at the 2020 specimen questions, essentially with this question you are, as I've said before, you are given 4 sentences which are usually based on the text. They may feature the same characters from text C. However, they are not sentences that come from text C itself, or that would be quite tricky, I guess, especially for teachers or, you know, Cambridge to create papers to fit in with the requirements of this question. So yeah, you need to scan text C again and find words or phrases which suggest the same idea. And there's 3 things you need to be aware of with this question. First of all, quite often it seems the answers that Cambridge are looking for are quite unusual in terms of the words they are wanting you to find from the text, or perhaps even some sort of idiom. And we all know idioms can be quite tricky, particularly if English is not your first language. The second thing you need to be aware of is the fact that it asks you to either identify a word or a phrase, and I want to draw your attention to the word phrase, which is 2 or 3 words max. Often my year 11s write these lengthy quotations and they get no marks for that. Okay, lengthy sentences are not needed, which kind of links to my last point. Make sure you only quote words which relate to whatever it is that is underlined. That is so important. Omit anything unnecessary. And you're probably wondering why you are looking at an extract from Animal Farm. I just thought it would be useful to have a bit of practice before looking at the 2020 specimen paper. So all I have done is I've pulled an extract from Animal Farm, one of my favourite novels, and I've just created 4, I guess, exam-styled questions, and we're going to do this together. Okay, these are the kind of skills, these are the type of questions which you need to be confident in tackling. So let's just start by reading the extract. So, the singing of this song threw the animals into the wildest excitement. Almost before Major had reached the end, they had begun singing it for themselves. Even the stupidest of them had already picked up the tune and a few of the words, and as for the clever ones, such as the pigs and the dogs, they had the entire song by heart within a few minutes. And then, after a few preliminary tries, the whole farm burst out into Beast of England in tremendous unison. And let's just recap the question again. So question 2a will always be worded like this. Identify a word or phrase from the text which suggests the same idea as the words underlined. And obviously this question is, I guess, assessing your understanding of vocabulary. So of course, those more voracious readers out there, this question, fingers crossed, should be relatively straightforward. So let's look at the first sentence. Now remember, all of these sentences, I guess, link to the extract. They do not come from the extract. And it's important to know this extract in particular, of course, is significantly shorter. You would be required to use the whole of text C. So the first sentence is, simultaneously the animals started singing. Okay, and that adverb simultaneously is underlined. So I guess, of course, the first step is understanding what simultaneously means. Now, it may well be a word or a phrase, but hopefully you know that simultaneous means to do something together, all at once, all at the same time. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of time to scan through the text and see if you can find a word or a phrase which suggests something is happening all at once, all together, all at the same time, etc. And as I can't edit, guys, I know this is really low rent. I'm just going to count down. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Now, hopefully, unison was the word you were thinking of. So I'm just going to highlight unison. I'm not going to type it here. I'm just going to highlight it in the extract. Unison carries the same meaning or suggested idea as the adverb simultaneously. Okay, now let's look at the second strand, and that is, the animals were intensely enthusiastic after hearing Major's speech. Now we've got a phrase which has been underlined here, and that is intensely enthusiastic. So in other words, this phrase intensely enthusiastic seems to suggest, I guess, that there is this eager enjoyment. So can you find a word or a phrase which suggests the same idea as the animals being intensely enthusiastic? And again, I'm going to give you 5 seconds and I'm going to start counting down now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the time's up. Now, hopefully you identified wildest excitement as carrying the same meaning as being intensely enthusiastic. Has anyone got them both right? I hope so. Now the third strand hopefully should not cause too many problems. And the third strand reads, some of the more brainless animals even celebrated. Now, of course, that adjective brainless refers to someone being unintelligent. So can you spot a word or a phrase which suggests that idea? Okay, the timer is on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hopefully you all managed to identify the word stupidest. I'm just going to highlight that. So that is 3 out of 4. We've got one more to go, guys. Now the last one is for all of you brain boxes out there, and it requires you to understand what the word verbatim means. And I'm just going to read out the sentence. Many animals quickly able to recall. Gosh, my grammar. I say my grammar, my inability to proofread my work. I do apologise. It is quite late. I say that every single time. Many animals were quickly able to recall the song verbatim. Now, of course, this is just the nature of the newer questions. Cambridge really are wanting students to show that they have a good understanding of vocabulary. Okay, and some of the words that they use or choose to use are quite challenging. Now, recalling something verbatim means you know it word for word. Now, can you find a word or a phrase which suggests that idea? Quite a difficult one, guys, but I'm going to give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Now, the answer is by heart. Now, knowing something or recalling something by heart means you have memorized it word for word. And of course, that's even trickier because it requires you to understand the idiom by heart. And if you did manage to get all 4 marks, do drop me a comment below and let me know. Okay guys, I've just realised this video is coming up close to 30 minutes and I really didn't want it to be that long. So what I'm going to do is film the second half now. I promise I will look at the 2020 specimen paper and then I will move on to question 2b. And look at the 3 strands. Anyway, I hope this little activity has been quite useful. With this kind of question, it really is practice makes perfect. You know, improving your ability to quickly scan a text, you know, watching your timings with each question, knowing your idioms, I guess more complex vocabulary, etc. But I'm going to stop this video now, stop waffling on, and I will film the second part right now. See you soon.